What's going on, guys? Um, I'm just getting my Instagram up. Hey, Britt, can you text me the Instagram password? For some reason, Instagram logged out my tablet and I need to get back in.
Okay, I got you. I'm gonna send it over right now.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Yeah, my bad, guys. For some reason, Meta or Instagram or whatever keep logging out the devices, and when I'm ready to go live, I'm seeing that all the devices are signed out. So I do apologize. FICO. Just give me a few and let me get this all sorted out. Just give me a few. Let's see. All right. Just give me a few. Let me get this up and going. And then, because today we're going to talk about Bank of America. Today we're talking about Bank of America. I hope you guys heard what's going on with Bank of America and the CFPB, and it's the same thing. Wells Fargo got they got fined for. Guys, I'm telling you, all the banks are doing it. So we're gonna get into it as soon as I get my Instagram up. Just give me a few. Just give me a few. Let me get my Instagram back up. All right. Just give me 1 second. Okay. All right. I am almost in. Someone said they purchased the new ebook. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. All right. So let me get this live popping. All right. Enough technical issues. So, all right. I think we're good to go. Was having some technical issues, guys. Now it's fixed. What's going on, guys? Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's. All right. So let's see what's going on here. FI C O. All right. So today we got a lot to talk about. Bank of America is getting fined up to $250 million. 1 million will be going to consumers, and I think the other 100 million will be going towards damages. So we're gonna get the tea on what's going on with Bank of America. Hey, I thought I text you. Yeah, I got it. All right, thanks, Britt. I thought I texted you. My bad. All right. So now everything's up and going, guys. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Welcome to the Omni Live. I see we got somebody requesting on the line. So let's see what's going on. Hello, Doreen. Thank you for the excellent feedback last night. You're absolutely welcome. You're very welcome. All right. So let's see what's going on. All right. So let's talk about Bank of America. Can I see a show of hands of everybody that has a Bank of America account? Who in here has any Bank of America accounts, whether it is in good standings or not? Who got a Bank of America account? Who got a Bank of America account? So let me pull up the document that I was reading, right? And what I was reading, it says this. Um, you might have to get closer to the mic, really. Uh, okay, how's my audio now? How's my audio, guys? Audio check 1 2. Audio check 1 2. How's my audio? How you guys hearing me? They definitely killed me in the past years with a $35 overdraft fees. Yeah, so we're gonna talk about it. So everybody type into Google Bank of Bank of America CFPB lawsuit. And let's get into it. So what you're gonna see the CFPB website, right? And basically, like this is coming directly from the CFPB. So this isn't us making anything up, ladies and gentlemen. This is coming directly from the CFPB website. So this is what I saw. CFPB takes action against Bank of America for illegally charging junk fees, withholding credit cards rewards, and opening up fake accounts. Bank of America will pay more than 100 million to harm the consumers and 150 million in penalties to the CFPB and Office of the Controller of Currency. So, ladies and gentlemen, what that is saying. So, let's talk about the fees. Can you guys tell me about the type of fees that are associated with bank accounts? I know there's late payment fee, overdraft fee. What are the other fees that banks have? Let's talk about these fees now and how we're going to use this lawsuit. We're going to use this lawsuit. We're going to make a letter, right? And how we're going to send this letter out to the consumer reporting agencies to get your Bank of America accounts deleted. That's what we're going to do. So let's get into it. 1 second. Graphics none. All right. Okay. So we're gonna get into it now. So let's talk about the type of fees that are associated with banks late payment fees, right? I want you guys to drop them in the chat. There's late payment fees, overdraft fees. What other fees do we have when it comes to banks? What are the other fees that consumers normally get charged for when it comes to banks? And then I want somebody to come on the live and I want you to tell me about the Bank of America account that you have. And then we are going to build a letter. I want you to come on the live and we're going to build a letter on the live right now to get your Bank of America accounts deleted. So let me see what y'all got. I just watched you on REA. All right, Mike, let's go. Transaction fees. Okay, that's a good one. What else we got? Transaction fees is a good one. YouTube, you guys are silent today. What's going on? Instagram is getting on fire. What's going on, YouTube? Facebook, you guys are really silent today. LinkedIn, what's going on? I would, but I don't have any on my consumer report right now. Okay. How to remove evictions. I'll get into evictions in a minute. Maintenance fees. Okay. All right. So let's talk about if you have a late payment, right? Let's talk about a Bank of America late payment that is on your credit. So we're gonna build a letter right now regarding late payment. Let's get that. Like if y'all want to see, if you want us to build a letter for late payment with Bank of America, let me see y'all drop some fire in the chat. Collection is what I have. Has there been any investigations into Chase overdraft fee? No, but Chase might be on the list. Chase just might be the next one on the list. Let's see. I guess nobody wants that Bank of America late payment letter. Nobody wants a Bank of America late payment letter. I guess I'm not going to build it then. We were about to build a whole Bank of America late payment letter, but I guess nobody wants it. Perfect. I have a late payment, but not for Bank of. No, it applies to anyone. It doesn't matter. We're just using Bank of America as an example because they're the ones right now that's in the spotlight. We're only using them as an example. So the late payment letter that we're going to build right now is for any one of them, right? It doesn't matter who it is. It's for them. All right. So has anyone here ever heard of a goodwill letter? Has anyone ever heard of a goodwill letter? So if you've ever heard of a goodwill letter, guys, never ever send out a goodwill letter. Never send another goodwill letter. All right? Don't ever send another goodwill letter to any bank. Guys, we're not begging anybody for anything. What we're using here is trade consumer laws. We're not using, like, one second. Right? We're not begging creditors. We're not begging these companies for nothing. Can you imagine? Like, I want you guys to really think about it. Illegal charging junk fees, withholding credit card rewards, opening up fake accounts. Do you really think any of these organizations have your best interest at heart? Like, Bank of America charge off. How? We've deleted multiple charge off. I need these .jam inquiries deleted. Oh, I think you're trying to say goddamn inquiries deleted. All right, cool. Yes, but I know from watching your videos you're used to the laws. Yeah. Thank you very much. So what I'm gonna do right now is we're gonna craft a letter, right? We're gonna craft a letter. We're gonna craft one for Bank of America. We're gonna craft one for Wells Fargo. All right. So we're gonna craft two letters. One for Bank of America, one for Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo was in the news. I think it was like 2 months ago. They did the same thing. Let me see if I can pull up the Wells Fargo report. Wells Fargo CFPB lawsuit. Okay, CFPB orders Wells Fargo to pay 3.7 billion for widespread mismanagement of auto loans, mortgages, and deposit accounts. That's Wells Fargo. Look how similar these headlines are. CFPB takes action against Bank of America for illegally charging junk fees, withholding credit card rewards, and opening fake accounts. Guys, I'm telling you, Bank of America and Wells Fargo, they are not the only ones doing it. Could I pay you to delete late fees? Mike, I don't think you can pay me, Mike. No disrespect, but my time is absolutely valuable, and it is easier for you to learn how to do it, so you can get it off. I promise you. And and this is me with saying it in the most humblest and most appreciative way. All right. So so all right. Let's get into it. So what we're going to talk about right now is the let's do Bank of America first, right? So when I'm writing a letter, when I'm going through the framework of the type of letter I'm going to write, the first thing I look at is what is the point that I want to get? What point do I want to bring across? Am I talking about a late payment, a charge off, a bankruptcy, collections, a medical collections, student loan? Like, what's the purpose of the letter that I'm doing? That's the first thing, right? What's the purpose? Right? So in this case, the purpose is using the information on the CFPB website. We're going to build a a late payment deletion letter specifically for Bank of America, right? So we're going to build one specifically for Bank of America. So now the first thing I need to think about is 15 USC 1666B, which is correction of billing errors. Right, written notice. So that's 1666, right? So 1666 is one, and then 15 USC 1662. 15 USC 1662. No, it's not 1662. It is 1666. If a creditor statement obligor, extension of creditors, I just disclosed. In connection with the extension, received the address disclosure. Okay. One indicates, all right, so this is the billing error. 1666, correction of billing errors. There's another one that is about timing of payments. Let's see. 15 USC. Timing of payments. All right, so we have 1662. No, we have 1666 and 1666B. So what you guys might see 1666, but there's two parts that's individual. There's 1666 and there's 1666B. So when you guys are looking it up, it's important that you note the difference that there's 1666 and there's 1666B. I almost confused myself just now. All right. You know what? Let me get some water. All right. Got some water. Let's go. All right. So the first thing we want to talk about is 1666, 1666B, and then 15 USC 1681A. So 15 USC 1681A. These are the sections that we're going to use to build this late payment letter. Now, the first thing now we're going to do in building this letter is Okay. The CFPB said that Bank of America just got a lawsuit for illegal fees, junk fees, withholding credit cards, rewards. So now let's talk about the late payment, right? What is a late payment? What does that mean? What does a late payment mean? Right? They're saying that they illegally charging junk fees. Well, if they're illegally charging junk fees, a late payment fee could be a possible junk fee, and with a late payment fee, it comes with them reporting an alleged late payment on your credit, right? Like, I want to make sure everybody's following. If the largest banks like Bank of America and Wells Fargo aren't trustworthy, what banks do you suggest? Honestly, bro, Royal, what I did, I opened up a life insurance, right? So I opened up a life insurance, and I'll be using my life insurance to hold my money and to keep my savings. I'm gonna be leaving as minimal amount in the bank as possible. So probably less than $50,000 I'll keep in the bank. Probably, yeah, less than $50,000, or maybe just 50,000 I'll keep in the bank, and all other funds I'm gonna just put that into life insurance, because the way these banks are going, man. So, Doreen, since late payments lead to charge offs, are we able to delete them as well? Yes, you can delete anything on your credit. But what I'm going to show you guys is the framework and the mindset, what I do, that thinking process before I build a letter. Will we get to see how you type the letter, or by word of mouth? Unfortunately, with this device, I'm not able to show you guys as I'm typing it. So it'd be word of mouth. My studio, for some reason, the cameras inside, they weren't connected, so I had to use the backup, which is my office computers, because the studio computers and the cameras, they weren't connected for some reason. Don't know why. So Marcus is gonna come over later, and we're gonna find out what the issue is. All right. So, illegal charging junk fees. Okay. So we're gonna title this late payment letter. All right. So this letter will be addressed to. So this late payment letter, guys, we're gonna send this one to Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. So this one is titled "Late Payment Letter Sent to TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian." So I will have this letter on the website, and it will also be inside the university for all the students that are here. So that's the first thing we're going to do, right? We're going to title the letter. So we know that this letter is being sent to TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. So now you know that you have your name, right? Your address, the date, account number, all right, and then now we're gonna have Experian, Experian, Experian address. We're gonna have Equifax, and then TransUnion. Now, where it says Experian address, Equifax address, or TransUnion address, all you need to do is put the corresponding address that matches where you're sending the letter. So you just pick it, right? So let's go down into the letter now. And you can even put consumer report number, because each report, no, each report has a number that goes with it, right? So now notice to agent is notice to principal. Notice to principal is notice to agent, right? So now that we have notice to agent is notice to principal is notice to agent. So now everybody that gets this letter, due diligence was done, right? So now we're gonna go into it. I have received. All right, you see, I've received a copy of my consumer reports, and I notice you have furnished transactions on my consumer report that is excluded by law as per the FCRA 15 USC 1681A 1681A 2AI, right? So now the first thing we're doing is we're letting them know what the issue is, right? I have received a copy of my consumer report, and I notice you have furnished transactions on my consumer report that is excluded by law as per 15 USC 1681A 2A1. Can someone tell me why I use the word transactions and not late payments? Can someone tell me why I use the word transactions and not the word late payment? Somebody talk to me. Why did I use the word transactions and not late payments? Can somebody tell me why did I use the word transactions and not the word late payments? All right, because this is the language in the law. Shout out for MOULE. You got it. Using the correct phrase. Later you got it too, because that's what Congress used. Absolutely, that's what the law states. Good. So you guys are catching on. Very good. It's important that we are using their language, ladies and gentlemen. It is very important. Congress says transactions between a consumer and the person can't be on the report. Absolutely. Late payments are illegal as well. Yes. But the reason why we are using late transactions in this part of the letter is because that is what Congress talks about. They talk about transactions are what? Excluded. So now I'm going to go over to 15 USC 1681A, and I am going to go and get the excerpt now that speaks to the point that I'm making. So copy that. Now I'm going to put this right here. I'm going to paste this. So exclusions, except as provided in paragraph 3, the term consumer report does not include. Subsection, subject to subsection 1681S of this title, right? So we get that out of the way. So now the first thing we're going to do is explain something. A consumer's transactions A consumer's transactions are not included, are excluded from the consumer reports. FICO and any other credit, FICO and any other, OTHER, and any other risk score or algorithm, FICO or any risk score or algorithm that you use, where is it? Right? FICO or any algorithm that is used. So FICO and or, there we go, it's and or any other risk score or algorithm that you use to calculate a consumer's credit score is not a factor, is not a factor a consumer's transactions are excluded from the consumer reports. FICO and or any other risk score or algorithm that you use to calculate a consumer's credit score is not a factor where the consumer report is concerned. Definition of what the consumer report means. So now, this is where we're going to use the definition of what the consumer report is, because what we're doing now, we're specifically stating that nothing inside the consumer report speaks about anything FICO or anything about FICO and their algorithm. So where FICO has late payment and utilization being a factor in a FICO's credit score, it has nothing to do with the consumer report itself. So this is what we're talking about. So a risk score or a FICO score or the algorithm that you use to calculate a consumer's credit score is not a factor where the consumer report is concerned. Definition of what a consumer report means. So now I'm going to say FICO or none of its factors are not defined or included in the definition of the consumer report. Therefore, the reporting of transactions, transaction, the reporting of transactions between the consumer, and in parentheses I'm going to put me, and the person, PERSON. In this case, you can use Bank of America, because I'm making this specifically for Bank of America. You guys can put whoever you want to put in there. Capital One or whatever. You can put whoever you want to put in there, right? So I'm using Bank of America. All right.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, what's going on, King? So building this letter, right?
Yes.
Do you comprehend why I am wording it the way I'm writing it? Yeah, you can. 1 second. You can use it for Wells Fargo as well. All you got to do is put in the corresponding person that this relates to.
Okay.
So why do you think the language is structured this way? And I'm trying, not trying, but I am not using any personal words. I'm using words specifically that I'm taking from the law. Why do you think I phrase the why do you think I phrase the letters that way?
Well, for one, to let them know that you understand, your rights and what you're saying to them, because they use certain words to use against you. You know what I'm saying? And what you don't know, they will use against you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you're on point. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, when you're doing these letters, and one of the reasons why a lot of people are not successful, they are personalizing the letter to where they become involved in the letter and they stray away from the points. And when I say the points, we're talking about the exclusion of the transaction. Let's stay on point with the exclusions of the transaction. Don't talk about, oh, I went to pay my bank, I went to pay the card, and then the debit card got lost, it got stolen, and then I put a fraud alert on. Like, you don't need none of that.
Exactly.
You don't need it, because what you're doing now is you're providing too much information. So what we're doing is we're trimming the fat and we're sticking directly to what the law is saying. So now we just use the first section of this letter where we're talking about the transactions between the consumer and the person making the report. And the reason why FICO, the definition, is not included inside the consumer report. So therefore, if FICO is not included in the consumer report, you cannot use FICO as a factor on the definition of the consumer report when the transactions themselves are excluded from the consumer report. A transaction is only a factor of FICO. It is not a factor of the consumer report, because in the definition of the consumer report, FICO or Vantage was not in the definition.
Exactly.
Got it?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. So therefore, reporting of transactions between the consumer, me, and the person making the report is a violation of 15 USC 1681A. The definition of the consumer report does not include FICO or Vantage, which makes their factors irrelevant, which makes the factors of those algorithm. I swear, me and this word algorithm, All right. What I'm gonna do, 700 Club, I'm gonna put you back into the audience. I'm gonna finish this up. Then we're gonna go in for a round of Q&A. All right?
All right, sounds good.
Yeah, no problem. So now, FICO or Vantage, which makes their factors, or let's see, of the consumer report does not include FICO or Vantage, which makes their which makes their factors or algorithms. Which makes their factors or algorithms irrelevant. I don't want to use the word irrelevant. So, which makes their factors or algorithm it's not included. Let me see what you guys got. No one can dispute law. Statute, this is what makes consumer law letters so powerful. Absolutely. Hard inquiries, that's for another time. We're working on late payments right now. Therefore, the reporting of transactions between the consumer and the person making the report is a violation of 15 U.S.C. 1681A. The definition of a consumer report does not include FICO or Vantage, which makes their factors or algorithm not a factor where the consumer report is concerned. CONCRNED. All right. So that's that part, right? So now we can even go crazy on this letter and say, you have listed, no, you have furnished, you have furnished, you have furnished, you have furnished transaction information on the following accounts. Now, where you have furnished transaction information on the following accounts. This is where we're going to list the accounts. So in parentheses, I'm going to have list accounts with late payments, right? So this is where you're going to list those. So if you got 5 accounts on Experian that has late payments, you are going to have to modify the letter. All right, you're going to have to modify the letter if you have let's say 5 late payments on Experian, 5 on TransUnion, 5 on Equifax. You're now going to have to modify the letter to suit and get it personalized to you, because I'm building a general letter. But for it to work for you, you have to modify and edit it and use your information. Does that make sense, guys? Does everybody understand what I'm saying? You have to modify it. How many can you list at a time? You can go up to 10. I wouldn't push it past 10. You know, pigs get fed, hogs get slaughtered. You wanna go up to about 10, right? Can you do many things on one letter, or do you have to send separate letters? You send separate letters. The only time you would send multiple accounts on one letter is if you're doing the late payment letter or you are reporting identity theft. If it's not those ones, guys, just send separate dispute, because when we speak about consumer laws, each law is specific to the type of dispute that you're doing. So if we're talking about late payments here, it doesn't make sense that we're including a collections in this letter. It's not built for collections. It's built specifically for a late payment. I need to get off one late payment off my credit was almost 7 years ago. So in that case, if it's 7 years ago, we are talking about now statute of limitations. Yes, can this be done on paid accounts? Yes. Can you post a report that you're making up for an example or a template? Yes, it will be on the website probably in the next 24 to 48 hours. And everybody that gets the FICO ebook, if you get the FICO ebook, that means if you text the word FICO to 917-993 5238. This late payment letter will be a part of the FICO ebook series. I will make sure that this letter gets added. So if you have the new FICO ebook, if you text the word FICO to 917-993-5238, everyone that gets the FICO ebook, this letter will be emailed to you. All right, so let's get back to the letter, guys. I'm going to take questions in just a minute. All right, as if I'm answering questions, we're not going to get finished with this letter. And remember, we still got Wells Fargo that we need to build, and I'm not even halfway with this letter yet. Right, so right now we're going to list the accounts with late payments. So after we list the account with late payments, now this is where we're going to go into the CFPB. So it has also come to my attention, deployed a double dipping scheme to harvest junk fee. Bank of America had a policy of charging customers $35 after the bank declined a transaction because the customer did not have enough funds in their account. The CFPB's investigation found that Bank of America double dipped by allowing fees to be repeatedly charged for the same transaction over a period of multiple years. Bank of America generated substantial additional revenue by illegally charging multiple $35 fees. So this is what we're going to do now, guys. Now, the CFPB said they've been doing this for years, right? So this is where we're going to use this information. So guys, if you have Bank of America accounts, right? It doesn't matter how old these accounts are. If there's late payments on there, this is where we are using what's going on with the CFPB and the law to get these items deleted. So now we know that they have been doing it for years. So this letter now that is directed to TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian, we're going to put Bank of America has charged fraudulent, F-R-A-D-U-L-E-N-T, fraudulent late fees, and in addition, inserted late payments on my consumer report. Now, the next question I'm going to ask you guys is this. Why did I change the language here? Why did I change the language here? Why did I say no? Bank of America has charged fraudulent late fees and in addition inserted late payments on my consumer report. All payments were made on time. All payments were exact, and all payments were made on their respective due date. Can somebody tell me now why I didn't use it before, but why am I using the word late payment now? Were made on there. Can somebody tell me why am I using the word late payment? I tried to join your mentorship class. Prestige, text the word university. Prestige Credit Repair. Text the word university to 917-993-5238. 5238. If anyone on here wants to join the university, guys, right now, I need you to text the word university. Text the word university to 917-993-5238. So Prestige Credit Repair, please ensure that you're texting the right number. Text the word university to 917-993-5238. Right? Late payment, it's a transaction experience which is not included in the consumer report. Yes, but what if your payments wasn't paid on time or in full? Mike, if your payments wasn't paid on time or in full, that's not for you to prove, it's for them to prove. You get what I'm saying, Mike? They have to be the ones to prove it, right? They have to be the one to prove it. So your job is to dispute inaccuracies. Their job is to prove it. But what we are doing now, it's the bank's language. It's the bank's language, yes. But the other reason why I'm using the word late payments is because of the CFPB report that I'm reading. Remember, guys, the CFPB report says what? Bank of America, this is coming directly from the CFPB.gov, ladies and gentlemen. This is what the report says. Bank of America had a policy of charging customers $35 after the bank declined a transaction because the consumer did not have enough funds in their account. The CFPB investigation found that Bank of America double-dipped by allowing fees to be reportedly charging. There is no late payment without the late payment fee. So if they were charging fraudulent late payment fees, it means that they were also inserting fraudulent late payments. I need you guys to follow me. Who is following me? If you are following what I'm saying, I need you to drop some fire in the chat. If they are charging fraudulent late fees come from late payments. If the late fees are fraudulent, the late payments themselves must be fraudulent too. Come on, somebody. Oh, come on. Who's getting it? Who's getting it? If you're not getting it, let me know and I'll go back over it. Who's getting it? If the bank was charging fraudulent late fees, that also means the late payments that were inserted, they're also fraudulent. Who got it? Who got it? Please tell me somebody got it. Tell me somebody got it. Yes, it's illegal. So if they were charging fraudulent late payment fees come from late payment. So if the fees were fraudulent, the late payments themselves were fraudulent. Right? The late payments themselves were fraudulent. All right, cool. So Instagram, hey guys, do me a favor. Can y'all share this live with some people for me? I need some more people on this live, man. Share the live with 5 to 10 people. Make sure you guys get the FICO ebook. This letter will be in the FICO ebook. I will email everybody that buys the FICO ebook. This letter will be emailed to you. So all you got to do is text the word FICO to 917-993-5238. And guys, do not forget, the Credit Summit tickets are available. We are having our Credit Summit September 29, September 30, and October 1st. Get your Credit Summit tickets. All you got to do is text the word Summit to 917-993-5238 to get your Credit Summit tickets. Text the word Summit to 917-993-5238 to get your Credit Summit tickets. All right. So now, Bank of America. So I'm going to put Bank of America here in parentheses because you guys can switch these out. Remember, I tell you that you can switch these out between Wells Fargo and Bank of America, right? Latrice, dang, I just bought the ebook. That's cool. So what I'm gonna do, how much for both? We don't have them bundled, Latrice. What we do have is the early bird special. So right now we have an early bird special on the Credit Summit ticket, guys. So all you guys need to do, okay, 1 second. One second. Okay, cool. So all you guys have to do is text the word summit to 917-993-5238 and secure the early bird tickets. The tickets are out now, the general admission and the VIP. Secure your Credit Summit tickets. What is the Credit Summit? Are you still using Respect My Blueprint discount? That's for a different ebook. But what I'll be doing is for the Respect Me blueprint, that interview was done prior to this new ebook. What we will be doing going forward, I want you guys to stay tuned. So what you guys will do is we have a part 2 for the Respect My Blueprint discount coming up, where we will be offering Credit Summit tickets. That isn't out yet. So Mike, you're gonna have to give me some time. I go to Miami next week to shoot that podcast. So once I shoot that podcast with Wesley, we will have the links now with that discount in there if you're gonna go through that avenue. All right. So this is what we're gonna say now. So now we're gonna use this article. We're gonna use this article. We will be using this article, right? And what the CFPB. Okay, great. Thank you. So now we're going to use this, guys, to our advantage. So we know that the CFPB now, we know that they're being sued by the CFPB for fake accounts, right? So what we're going to be doing now, we're going to include this in our letter. So what I have now is CFPB takes action against Bank of America for illegally charging junk fees, withholding credit card rewards, and opening fake accounts. So I have this news article in here, right? And then I am going to go down to withheld cash points, misuse sensitive customer information. Okay, so there's 2 parts, right? There's 2 parts to this letter. One, remember, Bank of America misused consumers' information to open an unauthorized account, right? So we could potentially make another letter for an unauthorized account that is Bank of America related. We can use this article to now make a Bank of America unauthorized account deletion letter. So if you have a Bank of America account, we could also potentially use the misuse sensitive consumer information to open an authorized account to make a new letter. But let's finish the late payment letter first. So now what I'm going to do now, the section that speaks about the fraudulent accounts, this is the section now that I'm putting in the letter. So what I'm doing now, guys, I am substantiating my claim. You send the article with the letter. No, I'm not sending the article with the letter. I am using pieces of the article to compose and support this late payment letter that I'm making. Remember, it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. So right now, I'm going to prove, right? I'm going to prove that Bank of America is being sued by the CFPB for illegal practices of opening up fake accounts. We're going to prove that they deployed a double dipping scheme to harvest junk fees, and it is also in the report. And the report says Bank of America harmed hundreds of thousands of consumers over a period of several years and across multiple product lines and services. Specifically, Bank of America deployed a double dipping scheme to harvest junk fees. Bank of America had a policy of charging consumers $35 after the bank declined a transaction because the consumer did not have enough funds in their account. The CFPB investigation found that Bank of America double dipped by allowing fees to be repeatedly charged to the same transaction over a period of multiple years. Bank of America generated substantial additional revenue by illegally charging multiple fees. Can you send this to banks regardless to late payment? It's all about the modification, really. 700 credit. It's 700 club. It's really about the modifications. You can modify these letters to suit any situation. You just need to learn how to modify the letters. So what I'm going to do now is, so Bank of America, and now the CFPB investigation, I am going to highlight this because now I am showing them my account with Bank of America was never late. This was clearly a billing error, right? So we're throwing in billing error. This was clearly a billing error. This was clearly a billing error and a shameful act of fraud on my account. A fraudulent, what do they call it? My account with Bank of America was never late. This was clearly a billing error. This was clearly a billing error and a double dipping scheme. This act is shameful. This act is shameful. It has caused severe harm. This act is shameful. It has caused severe harm to my reputation, my character, my mode of living, and to my family. I need the following late payments deleted. So right now, This is where now we get a second chance to reiterate list accounts here. List accounts here. This is where now we get a second chance to reiterate the items that are late that we want deleted. So the first thing we did was we identified that transactions are not a part of the consumer report. The second thing was we are exposing Bank of America for fraudulent activities, junk fees, late fees, overdraft fees, which then had in turn led to false and fraudulent late payments being furnished on your consumer report. And this is the letter now to get it deleted. The last thing we have left now that we're going to put in there is 15 USC 1666B, correction of billing errors and timing of payments. All right. So let's look at what correction of billing errors say. Written notice by obligor to creditor. Time for and contents of notice procedure upon receipt of notice by creditor. If a creditor within 60 days after having transmitted to an obligor a statement of the obligor's account in connection with an extension of consumer credit receives at the address disclosed under section 1637B10 of this title a written notice other than a notice on a payment stub or other payment medium supplied by the creditor, if the creditor so stipulates with the disclosure required under 1637A7 of this title. Right? So sets forth otherwise enables creditor to identify the name of the account. We don't need that. Indicates the obligor's belief that the statement contains billing error and the amount of such billing error. All right, good. Sets forth reason for the obligor's belief. The creditor shall, unless the obligor has not later than 2 billing cycle. Okay, so billing error. So when it comes to the billing error now, guys, what we're going to say is this. We're going to put now 15 USC 1666B. We're going to close this letter out with 15 USC 1666B. This is what we're going to use to close out this letter. For the purpose of this section, a billing error consists of any of the following: a reflection on a statement of extension of credit which was not made to the obligor, a reflection of a statement of an extension of credit which the obligor requests additional clarification, including documentary evidence, reflection of the statement, the creditor's failure to reflect it, the computation error, failure to transmit. Well, this is 1666B, but there's another 1666B that we're looking for, which is it's called the timing of the payments. Now, it says a creditor may not treat a payment on a credit card account under an open-end consumer credit plan as late for any purpose unless the creditor has adopted reasonable procedures designed to ensure that each periodic statement, including the information required by section 1637B of this title, is mailed or delivered to the consumer not later than 21 days before the payment due date. Now, what this is saying, ladies and gentlemen, I know it sounds like a lot, but what this is saying that in order for any company to treat a payment as late, they must prove that the periodic statement, including the information required by section 1637B of this title, was mailed out to the consumer not later than 21 days before the payment due date. So, guys, what I want you to do is go on the calendar, right? Go on the calendar. See what day was your payment due date, right? It must be sent before the payment due date. So when you find your payment due date, you're going to count 21 days back. You're going to go 21 days back, right? So let's say that your payment was due on the 24th. Let's say your payment was due on July 24th. That is your payment due date. I'm going to say this again. Let's say your payment due date was July 24th. 21 days before that would be what? If it's 24, 21 days would be, somebody help me, the 21st, right? There we go. So we're having the 24th. So we're backtracking all the way to the 3rd. So July 3rd, if the payment is due, guys, this is going to sound a little confusing. I need you to write it down if you cannot follow. The law says a creditor cannot treat a payment on a credit card as late for any purpose. They cannot do it. The only clause is, the clause says this: they must adopt a reasonable procedure designed to ensure that each periodic statement. So the first thing we need to know is that a statement, S-T-A-T-E, a statement must, a periodic statement rather. So a periodic, P-E-R-I-O-D-I-C, a periodic statement must be sent or delivered to the consumer. That's the first thing we know. And we know that it must include information. It must include, so include information from section 1637B. So it must include information from section 1637B. And this periodic statement, so now we have the periodic statement, plus information from 1637B. It must be sent 21 days prior to your due date. Okay, who wants to come on live and let's break this down? There's a lot of information here, and I believe that some of you you might not get it. So this is where we're gonna have to have a discussion. Who can come on the live right now? Whether you're on Instagram or let me see, let me drop this link right here. Who wants to come on? Who wants to come on the live right now? And let's discuss this. Guys, if only you know what I just figured out. One second. Right, I just dropped a link. You you guys can join me on the live. I just dropped a link. I'm going to break this down to y'all. So, guys, that is the studio link if you want to join me on live right now. We need to discuss this because this might go over a lot of people's head. Let me break it down again. Timing of payments. A creditor may not treat a payment on a credit card account under an open-end consumer plan as late for any purpose. They cannot treat a payment as late for any purpose unless, right? Unless the creditor has adopted reasonable procedure, right? Reasonable procedure to ensure that each periodic statement, including the information required by 1637B of this title, is mailed or delivered to the consumer not later than 21 days before the payment due date. All right, looks like nobody's gonna take me up on my offer to come live with me. I don't know what's going on, guys. Come on, I just dropped the link. You guys are more than welcome to join. So, all right, let's break this down then, since nobody wants to join. I can't believe you guys are so shy. Come on. But anyway, let me break it down. 21 days before your due date. So if your due date is on the 24th, by the 3rd of July, right? By the 3rd of July, you should have received the periodic statement and the information contained in 1637B. If you did not get, okay, we have somebody that's ready to join. We got Mr. Consumer RS in the house. Shout out to you, my guy. What's going on, brother?
What's up? What's up?
All right, so we're going through timing of payments, right?
Okay.
And in timing of payments, look what Congress said. Congress said this. A creditor may not treat a payment on a credit card account under an open-end consumer credit plan as late for any purpose unless the creditor has adopted reasonable procedures designed to ensure that each periodic statement, including the information required by 1637B of this title, is mailed or delivered to the consumer not later than 21 days before the payment due date. Now, there's a few things going on here. A periodic statement must be sent or delivered to the consumer, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing that we learned. We also learned with this periodic statement, they need to include information from 15 USC 1637B, and they must go together. And this information must be sent to the consumer 21 days prior to their payment due date. If they do not do that, a creditor cannot treat a payment as late. So what does that mean? It means that they have to prove a late payment exists.
And that's the only way to prove it.
This is the only way to prove a late payment exists, guys.
Because other than that, you can't report no transactions.
You cannot report a transaction.
Okay.
The only way to prove a late payment exists would be this method. It's the only other clause to the transaction subsection in 1681.
Where can you find that at again?
15 USC 1666B.
1666B.
Correct. Timing of payments.
Because, that's what they be trying to say. Oh, you can report late payments.
Well, it's not that you can't. No, you need to prove that the payment was late. Sending me a statement with a mispayment is not proving it. The law says you have to prove that the statement, the periodic statement, was sent, and with that periodic statement, it includes the information from 1637, and not only that, you have to send it before, right? You cannot send it later than 21 days before the payment due date. So if the payment is due on the 24th, the last day to receive this notice would be the 3rd of July.
Okay, I got a question then. So if you are trying to get a late payment off your consumer report and they rebuttal your letter with something like this, do you use this weapon that we're speaking about on your rebuttal letter, or is this something you're not there to convince them on a dispute letter? That's something that you will do at arbitration or court. Do you pull the weapon out then on the letter, or after when you at court?
Now, you have to give them an opportunity, right? You could give them an opportunity. But at the same time, if you already know that you're going to go to arbitration, I wouldn't even raise this as a dispute. I mean, as a rebuttal. Why? Because they're going to have to prove this in court.
Okay.
So what I will do now, this I'm going to use as my secret weapon. See, they don't know that we know that 21 days before the payment due date, they must send the periodic statement and all the information in 1637B, right? So this is how we can get paid now for late payments on a consumer report using arbitration.
Right.
Because now they have to prove, remember, the only way to prove that it was sent is what?
Certified mail.
Certified. You think they're certifying any mail?
No.
They cannot prove it. They will never prove. They will never prove it.
I got a quick question.
All right, talk to me.
Regarding certified mail, I was supposed to be making that no parking, rule letter for collections. If they do not, of course, they don't certify the letter. 12 CFR 100630A. They have to let us know before they report. They didn't send a certified mail. But does that automatically make it, when they report, a permissible purpose?
So collections company have permissible purpose. If anyone tells you that a collection company doesn't have permissible purpose, that's
even
not
if they
true.
violate the no parking rule?
There's different factors to it. It's not a yes or a no or a straight answer. So let me explain. There's different sections of the FDCPA that triggers different things. Right?
Yes.
So what triggers the no parking rule is if a debt gets illegally parked on the consumer report and the consumer never received any information regarding the alleged debt, right? So now let's say Midland put a collections on the consumer report and Midland failed to notify the consumer, but now Midland is at court, right, trying to sue.
Right.
How would you now use the law to win against Midland?
Because I would say they would have the burden of proof of them sending a notification to me, which is certified mail.
Well, yes, but I want you to think about it a little bit more. Remember now, what does the no parking rule say?
It says that you got to notify a person before you can put any information on the consumer report.
So, if anyone is going to prove that you, Yannick, was notified, it must be the company that sent it, right? So, I'm going to say Midland did not attempt to contact me. Midland illegally parked a debt on my consumer report. The no parking rule specifically says, right? What does the no parking rule say? 12 CFR, no parking rule.
It's 12 CFR 1006.30A.
All right, so 12 CFR, give me it again.
1006.30A.
So it's under prohibited practices.
Right.
All right, let's read what it says real quick, and then we're going to finish up the other letter. Except as provided in A2 of this section, a debt collector must not furnish to any consumer reporting agency as defined in section 603F of the Fair Credit Reporting Act information about a debt before the debt collector, 1, speaks to the consumer about the debt in person or by telephone, right? That's 1. They have to prove that, right? Number 2, places a letter in the mail and sends an electronic message to the consumer about the debt and waits a reasonable period of time to receive a notice of undeliverability. So the first thing they must wait on if they send it is what? Undeliverability. During the reasonable period, the debt collector must permit receipt of and monitor for notifications and undeliverability from communications provider. If the debt collector receives such notification during the reasonable period, the debt collector must not furnish information if the debt collector receives such a notification during the reasonable period, the debt collector must not furnish information about the debt to a consumer reporting agency until the debt collector otherwise satisfies the paragraph. Guys, did everybody get what that section just said? There's something in there that I think you missed, Yannick, and I want to know if you missed it or not.
Is it saying something about it cannot furnish until it validate?
Not validate. Watch your words very carefully.
Verify.
Not verify. That word was not used either. It says that if the letter came back as undeliverable,
okay.
If the debt collector letter goes back to the debt collector that it was undeliverable, they cannot put no account on the consumer's report.
Right. Right.
So do you know how big that is? So if the letter comes in the mail and then the letter was hypothetically returned to sender, what does that mean?
That means it's undeliverable.
That means it's undeliverable.
What if we at the point where it's already being reported?
The question now becomes, when did this account started to report?
It's after November.
Is it after November 31st, 2021? Mm-hmm. So now if your answer is yes, and this company did not contact the consumer, that is where there's a violation of the no parking rule, and this is where you can do and write a pre-demand letter for a violation of the no parking rule, and you can go to arbitration proceedings.
Right, because they can't really prove that they send you an email. or they didn't record you?
They have to prove it.
Okay. So we don't need to say nothing about no permissible purpose.
Nope, you do not need to say anything about permissible purpose anymore, because the law gives debt collector the right. It's in there. It's in permissible purpose.
Right.
There's a section that says accounts that is due for collection or review. That is a permissible purpose.
Okay. Okay. But I don't want to take away from the lesson today. I just tuned in, and I added myself, and you pulled me up. But so it sounds like we're talking about transactions.
Yes. So I'm building a new late payment letter. So the new FICO ebook, everybody that purchases the new FICO ebook, I will be mailing this new late payment letter. So this late payment letter is going to be in the university very soon.
Okay.
It's specifically for Bank of America and the lawsuit that is going on with the CFPB.
Okay.
All right. So
Yes, sir.
yeah, let me finish up here, and I'm gonna talk to you later. But that was a great conversation.
Thank you. I needed that. I'm building the letter.
Oh, you're building a letter right now?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it up in the Facebook group.
Okay, let's get it.
Yep. Thank you.
Yep, you are welcome. All right, guys. So now, 1666B speaks about the timing of the payments, and they cannot treat a payment as late. So this is where this is where I'm going to put this here. So we're going to do a recap real quick, right? Let's do a recap. Hold on, I got a hiccup. Let me go get some water. I got a whole hiccup. All right. If Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax, if you dispute a late payment, right? If you dispute a late, Andy, what's good, my brother? What's going on, Andy? If you dispute a late payment, and a consumer reporting agency comes back and tell you that it's verified, what does that mean? The only way a late payment can be verified, listen to me and listen to me well. For too long, we've been accepting total BS from these consumer reporting agencies. The only way to validate a late payment is by proving that the statement and the required information for 1637B of this title was mailed or delivered to the consumer not later than 21 days before the payment due date. A creditor may not treat a payment on a credit card account under an open-end consumer credit plan as late for any purpose. The only way to validate a late payment, they must prove that the information, the statement, the periodic statement, the information required under section 1637B, which is the statement inside of each billing cycle, the finance charge, and everything that is needed. The only way to prove that a late payment can be validated, guys, they must prove that this document was delivered 21 days before your due date. If that is not done, a late payment cannot be validated. Ralph, what's going on, Ralph? I haven't seen you in a minute. A late payment does not exist. The only way for them to try and prove that a late payment exists, they must send you a statement. They must send you the requirements under 1637B, and they must also prove that this was mailed not later than 21 days before the payment date. That's the only way a late payment can quote unquote be validated. This is the only way. So when TransUnion says validated, we have a rebuttal letter that we are going to build for TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. A late payment cannot be validated no other way than what is the requirement under timing of payments. So whether Capital One wants to show them statements does not validate late payments. I'm going to say this again. If any of you dispute a late payment and TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian says validated, or if you dispute it with the creditor, the only way to prove a late payment exists, like this is what the law says. A creditor may not treat a payment on a credit card account under an open-end consumer credit plan as late for any purpose unless the creditor has adopted reasonable procedures. What are those reasonable procedures? I want to know what those reasonable procedures are. And those reasonable procedures must be designed to ensure that the periodic statement, including the information required by Section 1637B of this title, is mailed or delivered to the consumer not later. It must be mailed or delivered to the consumer. The only way to prove it is with certified mail green return receipt. If they cannot produce documentation that the item or that the stuff was delivered to the consumer not later than 21 days, guys, a late payment does not exist. Drop some fire in the chat. The credit hero just burned down Instagram Live. I know, right? Like, it's so amazing when you know this stuff. It is so amazing when you know this stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my gosh. Who got what I'm saying? I hope somebody heard what I just said. I hope somebody heard what I just said. We will no longer accept validated from any consumer reporting agency and any creditor. The law is clear on what needs to be provided to prove that a late payment exists. We will hold them accountable. Can somebody put hold them accountable in the chat? Right? I'm telling y'all, like, we gotta hold them accountable. If we don't hold them accountable, Wells Fargo, they're gonna get away with their illegal practices. Bank of America, you know what? Let me look right now if the CFPB sued Capital One, because I know Capital One, they're not straight. So CFPB sues Capital One. Let me see if anything comes up. Capital One. This action results from the CFPB examination that identified deceptive marketing tactics used by Capital One vendors to pressure or mislead consumers into paying add-on products such as payment protections and credit monitoring when they activated their credit cards. All right. CFPB probe into Capital One's credit card marketing results in $140 million. All right, let's see that. All right, that was a long time ago. All right, so right now, Capital One seems clean on the CFPB radar, but we got Wells Fargo and we got Bank of America. So what I'm going to be doing, guys, is this. Everybody that, man, Capital One was who reported my late pay. It's all right. It's all right because we can still use the original late payment letter to get Capital One region. It doesn't matter, ladies and gentlemen. What I'm giving you guys are different frameworks, right? You're getting different frameworks. And in these frameworks, now, all you got to do is modify them. So True Natural 45, all you got to do is read. Did you get the FICO book? The new late payment letter is in the FICO book, ladies and gentlemen. So text the word FICO to 917-993-5238. It's only $47 for the ebook. On my website, it's $197. On the offer that you're getting, it's only $47. There's a lot of letters in there, guys. So I'm telling you, get the FICO ebook. And everybody that purchases the FICO ebook, this new late payment letter, you're getting it too. I got it on July 4th. Perfect. So everybody that got the new FICO ebook, you will receive this letter because we have your emails. We will send out this new letter. We are going to send out this new letter to everyone that purchased the FICO ebook. Delete the following late payments from my consumer reports. Boom, and then you list accounts. ACCOUNT, this accounts here with late payments. All right. So guys, does this work for late payments on mortgage? Yes, it works for all late payments. I'm going to say this again. It works for all late payments. All late payments this works for. All you have to do is modify the letter to suit your situation. Do I need to send the letters to Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion or Capital One? The answer to your question, True Natural, is all of them. Your late payment letter is going to go to all of them. And what you might need to do is do a slight modification because the language that you use for Capital One is not the same language you're going to use for TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. So you have to know when to change your language based on who you're addressing. But I'm telling you, when a late payment comes back validated, you know what? I'm feeling real spicy right now. We might as well build a rebuttal. I'm gonna go build a rebuttal. We're gonna build a rebuttal right now. I'm feeling real spicy right now. I'm feeling real spicy. I am feeling real spicy right now. This works for all credit card companies. Correct. Um, Jackwill? Yes, it does. Is that different letter in the new ebook? Yes. The new ebook has a different late payment letter. It has a brand new late payment letter. This ebook was just made 2 weeks ago. And this new late payment, so there's going to be one is in the ebook. You're going to get this one, and I'm building a rebuttal right now. So we're about to build another letter. We're going to, before I close out, so we're going to get another letter done. All right, let's see. Okay, so we need to build. I'm gonna build the rebuttal for this. Who wants the rebuttal? Who wants me to build a rebuttal? It won't be added in the book because the book is finished. What I will do is everybody that purchases the FICO ebook, I am going to email you these 2 letters. Who wants to build a rebuttal? Who wants to build a rebuttal? Yo, we about to get super spicy right now. Who wants to build the rebuttal? So the letter that we just made, right? So let's pretend that we send this letter out for a dispute, right? We send it out for a dispute. And let's say Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax says it's validated. Who wants the rebuttal for this letter? The only way, guys, I'm telling you, to get these letters, you have to get the FICO ebook. Don't forget to text the word FICO to 917-993-5238. And don't forget, early bird tickets are out. The early bird tickets are out for the Credit Summit. If you were not at the last Credit Summit, ladies and gentlemen, you must be at this Credit Summit. Even if you were at the last one, you gotta be at the new Credit Summit. It is the first credit conference of its kind that is credit repair orientated, where you are learning how to repair, rebuild, restore your own credit. You are learning mortgage fraud. You are learning everything you need to get yourself right. You got to be at the Credit Summit. So text the word summit. Text the word summit to 917-993-5238. And for every one of you guys that wants to join the university, I know a lot of you want to join the program and you said, oh, Daraine, I don't have the money. Daraine, I don't have all the money. We have financing. We have a finance structure in place. No credit check, 100% approval. Let me say this again. For those of you that's looking to join the university, join the mentorship, we have a finance plan available. 100% approval, no credit check required. All you got to do is text the word university. Text the word university to 917-993-5238. Text the word university to 917-993-5238. I need that financing. Let's go 700 Club. There is no credit check, 100% approval for the financing. I'm going to say it again. No credit check, nada, none, zip. No credit check, 100% approval. Right? 100% approval, no credit check, no credit needed. All you got to do is text the word university to 917-993-5238. Let's get you on a call. Let's get you signed up. Let's get you learning at a higher level. Let's get you learning at a higher level, ladies and gentlemen. All you got to do is text the word university to 917-993-5238. 100% financing, no credit score needed, no credit check required. For student loans, yes, we already made that letter last week. 700 Club. We made the student loan letter last week. So that's a brand new letter that the students inside the university have. No one that is not inside the university, no one has that outside the university. There's a lot of letters inside the university that only students in the university have. It's not open to the public. There's some letters that the public will not get because those letters are unique for the university. Now, let's talk about this rebuttal. All right, we're going to talk about the rebuttal. So this one is rebuttal letter. So this is a late payment rebuttal letter sent to TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. What was the law for the late payment again? It's 3 laws that I'm using. 15 USC 1681, 15 USC 1666, and 15 USC 1666B. I'm using 3 different laws to build this letter. So now we are going to build a rebuttal. So let's build this rebuttal. What if you just paid for the dispute letters package? As long as you purchase the FICO ebook, everybody that purchased the FICO ebook, I will give you the first letter that we just made, and you're going to get this rebuttal. So everybody that got the FICO ebook by texting the word FICO to 917-993-5238 to get the FICO ebook, everybody that texts the word FICO, you will get the late payment letter that we just made, and you're also going to get this rebuttal that we are going to build right now. So let's get this rebuttal going, guys. Come on, let's get it. All right. So this is now addressed to TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian, right? Because they would be the person that validated, quote unquote, the late payment. So on X date, so put the date here. So put date they received late payment letter. So on this date, on this date, you received my dispute regarding some transactions and late payments that you and so right here, put creditor name here. Put creditor name here. Some late payments, some on that date, you received my dispute letter regarding some transactions and late payments that you and you put the creditor name here. Furnished to my consumer reports. Furnished to my consumer reports. And when I disputed these alleged, no, not alleged, when I disputed these exclusions, exclusion, exclusions using the FCRA, when I disputed these exclusions using the FCRA, I received a response from you. And when I say you need to put whether it's Experian, Experian, TransUnion, Equifax. Just put which one it corresponds to. From you, Experian, TransUnion, or Equifax, I received a response from you stating that the account was verified. All right. I am not sure why you responded with verified, as I did not ask for verification of anything. The law clearly, CLEARLY, the law clearly states that where are you? The law clearly states that reports, the law clearly states that so now I'm going to copy this section that has that information. The law clearly states that except as provided in paragraph 3, the term consumer report does not include reports containing information solely as to transactions. Reports containing information solely as to transaction with the consumer and the person making the report. How can you validate a dispute regarding information that is excluded from the consumer report. The law says transactions are not a part of my consumer report. So how can you validate a late payment? Right? So the first thing we want to do is we want to let them know where we stand, right? We're letting them know where we stand when it comes to the information. We know the law and we are using it. So now, hold on one second. So now we know, right? We know that the law says the transactions don't honor the part of the consumer report. Furthermore, let's take a look at 15 USC 1666B, right? And 15 USC 1666B is timing of payments. So now, what we're going to do now is we're going to insert this right back here under timing of payments. I am requesting all information pursuant Rule 1002. Rule 1002. For those of you who don't know what Rule 1002 is, you guys can look it up. Rule 1002 is a very powerful rule. So let me read it so y'all have an idea of why I'm using Rule 1002. They're in by name and profile pic and look out for my DM. Okay. Rule 1002, ladies and gentlemen. Rule 1002, requirement of the original. An original writing, record, or photograph is required in order to prove its content unless these rules or a federal statute provides otherwise. So when you request stuff under Rule 1002, you are requesting the original document as per federal law. So this is what we're doing now. So I am requesting all information pursuant Rule 1002, right? On section 1502 on 15 USC 1666B. Now, what does 15 USC 1666B says? I am requesting QUESTING the proof that I'm requesting let me request this first. I'm requesting the reasonable, REASO, reasonable procedure I'm requesting the reasonable procedure that you have adopted, that you have adopted, designed, DESIGNED, designed to ensure that each PERIDIOC, each periodic statement including information required by section 1637B of the sixteen 7B was mailed or delivered, where am I? DELIVERED, or delivered to the consumer not later than 21 days before the payment due date. All right, so let me clean this up now. I am requesting all information pursuant Rule 1002 on 15 USC 1666B. Right? What is the reasonable procedure that you have adopted designed to ensure that each periodic statement, including information required by Section 1637B, was mailed or delivered to the consumer not later than 21 days before the payment due date? See, the only way for you to validate a quote unquote late payment is the only way for you to validate a late payment is to have or wait, the only way for you to validate a late payment is if everything listed above was done and reviewed I don't want to use that. All right, the only way for you to validate a late payment is to ensure, okay, there we go, is to ensure that 15 USC 1666B was done in compliance COMPLIANC was done in compliance to the specifications of the law. Furthermore, this process must be certified by an agent and this must be certified by an agent. There's a section of the law, ladies and gentlemen, that speaks about the certification of documents, compliance and procedures. Compliance and procedures, disclosure of consumer report, a person may not procure a consumer report for the purpose of reselling information unless the person discloses to the consumer reporting agency that originally furnishes the information, responsibilities. A person who procures a consumer report for reselling establish and comply with reasonable procedures designed to ensure that the report information is resold, not that, only for the purpose, not that. Here we go. Identify each end user, certifies each purpose for which a report was obtained, and certifies that the report will be used for no other purpose. Before reselling the report, make reasonable efforts to verify the identifications and certifications made under subparagraph A. So there we go. So furthermore, this process must be certified by an agent that the information is accurate. So a certification of the accuracy of the information must be done, ladies and gentlemen. It must be done. So where is it? Subject to subsection F, except as provided if the completeness or accuracy of any item of information contained in a consumer file at a consumer reporting agency is disputed by the consumer, and the consumer notifies the agency directly or indirectly through a reseller of such dispute, the agency shall free of charge conduct a reasonable reinvestigation to determine whether the disputed information is inaccurate and record the current status of the disputed information or delete the information from the file in accordance with paragraph 5 before the end of 30-day period. So if this information cannot be verified, ladies and gentlemen, it must be deleted. So now what we are going to do is tear down any verification that they might have or that they thought they had. So we're tearing that down. So what we're doing now, we are tearing that down. So one of the things when it comes to verifying information, it must be verified by someone. And there is what is called a certification of accuracy that must be done. So when it comes to late payment, 1666B says that the periodic statement must be sent out along with the information required from 1637B, right? And that must be sent out and delivered to the consumer 21 days before the due date. That is a certification process. So if this late payment is going to be verified, all of those criteria must be met. So what I'm doing now is I am requesting who certified the process of 15 USC 1666B. Who certified that process? I need that process, and I'm getting too heated for this. I'm getting too heated. Let me go back to my Twitter fingers right now. All right, like I'm giving y'all the sauce. Let me put this on paper. Let me put this on paper. All right, so the only way to validate a late payment is to ensure that 15 USC 1666B was done in compliance, right? In compliance, Metro 2 compliance, and FCRA compliance. Y'all see me getting all worked up, huh? Was done in compliance. Metro 2 compliance. Compliance. Okay, and FCRA compliant to the specification of the law, right? And now we're going to reiterate what law we're talking about. 15 USC 1666B, right? Furthermore, this process must be certified by an agent that the information is accurate, right? So now we are requesting the certification of accuracy, the certification of accuracy, and the agents that were involved in the certification process. All right, so if you go down to 15 USC 1681 I5, 15 USC 1681 I5, ladies and gentlemen, it speaks about treatment of inaccurate or unverifiable information. Can we get a copy of this letter you're cooking up? Absolutely. Make sure you get the FICO book. Everybody that purchases the FICO ebook, if you text the word FICO to 917-993-5238, if you text the word FICO, you will get a copy of this rebuttal letter plus the previous dispute letter. This is the second letter that we're making. So if you guys just came here, we already made another letter. So everybody that purchases the FICO ebook by texting the word FICO to 917-993-5238, you will get both letters emailed to you. That's number one. Number two, we got the credit summit coming up. For those of you that just joined, the credit summit is coming up, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you get your early bird tickets. Text the word summit. Text the word summit to 917-993-5238. Secure your early bird tickets for the credit summit. It's coming up this fall. It's going to be September 29th, September 30th, and October 1st. Make sure you secure your tickets for the credit summit. Bet no more slicing tires. No, no more slicing tires. No, no, no. All right. So when we go to 15 USC 1681 I5, it speaks about treatment of inaccurate or unverifiable information. So let's read. In general, if after any reinvestigation under paragraph 1 and any information disputed by a consumer, an item of the information is found to be inaccurate or incomplete or cannot be verified, the consumer reporting agency shall promptly delete the item of information from the file of the consumer or modify that item of information as appropriate based on the results of the reinvestigation and promptly notify the furnisher of that information that the information has been modified or deleted from the file of the consumer. Now, the part that I really like is B, requirements relating to reinsertion of previously deleted material. Well, even though it's talking about reinserted previously deleted material, we're going to talk about the certification of accuracy of information. If any information is deleted from the file of a consumer, person 15 USC 16, wait, if any information is deleted from a consumer's file, pursuant to subparagraph A, the information may not be reinserted in the file by the consumer reporting agency unless the person who furnishes the information certifies that information is complete and accurate, right? Now, so what we're going to demand is we are requesting the certification of accuracy and the agents that were involved in the certification process. In the certification process, that certified that the information was that information is complete, complete, and accurate. So we're requesting whoever said that the information is complete, right? And we're also requesting the procedure on the Metro 2 compliance procedure for them evaluating the 15 USC 1666B and its requirements. So let me see now. There should be just one part left, and then this letter is done. As part of or in addition to the notice under clause 2, a consumer reporting agency shall provide to a consumer in writing not later than 5 business days after the date of the reinsertion. Nope. A statement that the disputed information was reinserted. No, not that. A notice that the consumer So it looks like we're finished then, because what I was looking for, we already covered it. Okay, so we are finished. All right. So I'm requesting all the information pursuant Rule 1002 on 15 USC 1666B and procedures that was used and the procedure that was used to authenticate accuracy. Right? What reasonable procedure that you have adopted designed to ensure that each periodic statement, including information required by Section 1637B, was mailed or delivered to the consumer not later than 21 days before the payment due date. The only way to validate a late payment is to ensure that the 15 USC 1666B was done in compliance, Metro 2 compliance, and FCRA compliance to the specifications of the law 15 USC 1666B. Furthermore, this process must be certified by an agent that the information is accurate. We are requesting the certification of accuracy and the agent or agents that were involved in the certification process that certified that the information is complete and accurate. Failure to provide this information clearly, CLEAR, clearly admits that proper steps and certification was not done in failure to provide this information clearly admits that proper steps and certification was not done in compliance with the law. In compliance with the law. And you this is where you put Experian, Xperian, TransUnion, Equifax, and you, TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax, put the corresponding one there based on what you are, based on which one you're sending it to. You, TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax have fraudulently, 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 you, TransUnion, and Equifax have fraudulently verified an account without a reasonable procedure as required by law. So now I'm going to say I need delete these accounts. Delete, D-E-L-E-T-E, delete these incomplete. Yo, Finesse, what's up, man? Bro, I was calling you last night, bro. What's going on, man? You didn't even return my call. Yo, rule number one, I can't have my boys feeling down at all right? So, bro, I was finna pick you up. We was gonna go out, bro. We were gonna get some drinks. We was gonna talk some shit. And you didn't even return my call. I'm very upset, Finesse. I'm very upset. I'm just letting you know I'm upset, brother. I'm upset. All right? All right, so delete these incomplete, delete these incomplete and unverifiable accounts and transactions from my consumer reports. So this is where now you are going to list the accounts that you want deleted. List accounts you want deleted here. Boom. And that's the rebuttal letter, ladies and gentlemen. That is the rebuttal letter. Hey, I am a videographer. If you need help with anything, I can help with that. Most definitely. Send me a DM. Rough Gary, send me a DM. You can't dispute anything without a copy of your driver's license, at least. So now we're gonna put yours truly, first name, so that's first name, last name, then we're going to first name, last name, copy of your ID, and utility bill. All right, so you're going to need a copy of your ID and a utility bill. So, ladies and gentlemen, we just built the rebuttal letter. All right. So, we just built the rebuttal letter. All right, boom. Rebuttal letter done. So what I'm going to do, okay. All right. So what I'm going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is everybody that got the FICO book today, you will be receiving you're going to be receiving the late payment letters. You're going to receive the late payment letter one that we built. There's one late payment letter already in the FICO ebook. There is the first late payment letter that I just made, and then there's the rebuttal. All right. So you guys are going to be getting 2 additional late payment letters in addition to the FICO ebook. So guys, everybody have a great night. It's been 2.5 hours. Time for me to go. Don't forget, get the FICO ebook so you can get these letters. Text the word FICO to 917-993-5238 to get the FICO ebook. You will get these letters emailed to you. Once you get the FICO ebook, the credit summit, guys, it's coming up. It is September 29th, September 30th, and October 1st. All right. Make sure you get your pre-sale tickets. The tickets right now are in pre-sale status. Get your pre-sale tickets. Get your pre-sale tickets. Secure your tickets for the credit summit. It's coming up September 29th, 30, and October 1st. Get your tickets. I want the FICO ebook and the two bills you just did. Absolutely. Text the word FICO to 917-993-5238. And to let all of you know, guys, we do have financing available for those of you that DM me and was asking me about joining the university. For everybody that wanted to join the university, I have financing. It is 100% approval, no credit check needed. I'm going to say this again, 100% approval, no credit check needed. All you got to do is text the word university to 917-993-5238. That's it. Text the word university to 917-993-5238. Join the university, become the credit hero you need, become financially free, ladies and gentlemen. Get those negative items deleted from your credit. All right. Our charge-off letters included in the ebook. I don't remember if there's any charge-off letters in the ebook. I don't think there's any charge-off letter in the ebook. I don't remember. And I don't want to lie to you. The honest answer is I don't remember. But I know there's a lot of letters in there. There's a lot of letters in the ebook. I don't remember if the charge-off one is in there, but I do know there's a lot of letters in there. So that's it from me tonight, ladies and gentlemen. It's been an amazing night. We've been on 2.5 hours, so it's time for me to go. I will see y'all later. Alligator. Oh, my guy, Tristan, what's going on, brother? Right? I'm going to see y'all later, alligator. See you in a while, crocodile. It's been real. So this is how we get late payments deleted. We know late payments are illegal. It's not supposed to be on your credit. And there's only one way to even attempt to verify a late payment. And we have it down packed. So now it's time to pull up to these consumer reporting agencies and get the results that we need. We need to get these things deleted from our credit. So let's start getting those done. All right, cool. So everybody have an amazing night from your favorite island boy. I'm going to see y'all later, alligator. Peace. I'm out.